Thanks.
So Dawn, if you could just share with us what you created and the theory behind that checklist on the side.
Sure. We decided to make a box, a little graphic organizer checklist for them to be able to look at their sentences and say, I restated it and I answered it after I wrote it out. Now we're going to add the F and the T as well, and just checking off and making sure that they've answered all 4 parts of that question.
Have people been using that in the classroom? And
We
want to
find
give some
that's
feedback?
more helpful. Like we used to have them just check off like each piece, like in the directions or so, you know, make sure you restate, make sure you give evidence, and they would check that off. When they actually see that little box on the side, I think that's more helpful than expecting them to remember.
Great.
It's
And
like that visual.
that's totally research based because the COPS, the capitalization, organization, punctuation, and spelling, that they have them do that for editing. So it's
To check
totally
off,
research
yeah.
based.
And it just helps them.
Well, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I just processed that.
Yeah,
I
they're
didn't
the
get
cop.
to editing. Then
Yeah.
Yes, no, I know it. I just using
Yeah.
it the same strategy. Right.
Are we able to maybe think about the checklist and think about some connections that we can make, maybe not necessarily the RAF checklist, but just like holding students accountable for self-assessment in other subjects?
First thing that comes to mind is math. I know I use, when I want them to label total, group, and size, TGS, and they say it all the time and they write it down, and then even RDWW, read, draw, write.
Yeah,
write,
I think
check off.
definitely an RDW right next to every kind of word problem, and then check it off, just exactly what we did for RAFT. I mean for our writing.
And are we finding students are, I know that we've kind of like scaffolded where we gave them the checklist in the beginning for boundless grace, and now I think we're having them, well, the documents that were created by Katie, they're not, the checklist isn't there. So we're asking students to write it on their own. Are we finding that they're doing that, or? Like I find a little inconsistency with
Yeah,
that.
and you know,
I have to tell them.
But if we have, if I remind them, don't forget to use RAFT. Oh yeah, right, and then they know what to do.
Right.
But a few of the higher ones will say almost anything now. Do we use RAFT? Like Sarah always asks.
Am I
Do
rafting?
I use RAFT?
Right. When in doubt, yes.
Right.
Always.
There's a rhyme. We need to make a rhyme for that.
Right, and just when we're previewing what the task is, you know, one of the questions let's ask is, how do we set it up? What should we do first? So a lot of them will know then, let's put the raft in first, and then get going.
Something like
So-
sinking, if you feel like you're sinking, get a raft, like floating. I'm just thinking of,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I don't know.
That's good.
When you see lines, you're sinking down.
Exactly.
And your heart
Feel
drops.
those
When your heart
lines.
drops because you see all the
Yeah,
lines,
like,
your
you're
heart
like,
sinks.
sink. Yep.